Join us now for Health for Life, brought to you by Hamilton Healthcare System. Today, we're talking with Dr. Nancy Carnevale of Anna Shaw Children's Institute in Dalton. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Carnevale.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Carnevale is a board-certified developmental behavioral pediatrician and the medical director of Anna Shaw Children's Institute at 1201 Burleson Road behind Hamilton Medical Center in Dalton, Georgia. She specializes in attention disorders, autism spectrum disorders, behavioral and developmental challenges, and more. Dr. Carnevale graduated from Assumption College in Worcester, Massachusetts, attended medical school at Brown University in Rhode Island, and completed her residency in pediatrics at the University of Connecticut. She also completed her fellowship at Brown University and is board certified in neurodevelopmental disabilities. Today we're going to talk about learning and summertime. What do those two things have to do with each other, learning and summertime?
So have you ever heard of the summer slide?
Oh, I know the summer slide. They've got a big one at the park down the road. It's a great slide.
That's not exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The summer slide refers to the weakening in children's reading and math abilities that occurs during the summer months when they are away from the classroom. So during the summer, all children are at risk of losing a significant amount of the learning that they obtained throughout the school year. Some families lose reading skills because they don't have access to books or enrichment opportunities anymore. And students who lose their reading ability over the summer, they rarely catch up. So over time, the summer slide can add up to the equivalent of 2 to 3 years of reading loss because they're not doing that reading over the summer.
Just over the 2.5 months of summertime.
Yes, accumulated.
Wow.
Yes. It's even been worse because of COVID, because the kids are behind as it is academically from the regular school year because of the virtual and missing school. So we've had now a loss during the school year, and then you put the summer slide, not doing anything, not getting any education, and losing skills on top of that, and we're getting children who are more academically behind.
So what are the impacts of this over time?
The accumulation over time leads to basically poor academic achievement. Children really need a strong foundation of learning to stay on track.
So what can we do to prevent that summer slide?
So the biggest thing is parents need to be aware of it, and they need to hopefully try to plan for some educational opportunities over the summer. And that's just through basic parent involvement. Some quick things that are easy. Summer's a great time to visit the library, get your first library card, look for summer reading programs or reading times at the libraries or bookstores. The kids can kind of get together and hear a story. There are actually many bookstores and even private businesses that know about this and have like motivational programs or incentives to get rewarded if you read so many books. Mm-hmm. For example, you go to the bookstore and you read 5 books and you turn in that you read 5 books, and they'll give you a free another book or something else. And those incentives are important. So now, the other thing is children really need to be involved in choosing the book. We want them to read about things that they like because they'll be more motivated to read. And sometimes even choosing a book below their level, it's okay to do that because that improves their confidence. They feel better, they're reading, and they'll continue to achieve. Reading a series of books can be fun. So I'm not sure if you remember any of these, Boxcar Kids or Nancy Drew or Harry Potter. But basically, they're books by the same author that wants to keep kids reading. They get excited about the characters. They kind of know that author's way of writing, and then they're very excited to read the next book in the series.
Well, that is right, because you're always ready. You're wrapping up one, getting ready for the next one.
Correct.
And you don't know you're being educated the whole time.
Correct.
That is wonderful. Now, I suppose that being a good role model would help too.
Yes, absolutely. Parents can help their child pick up good reading habits just by being a good role model. So kind of little things, just reading the newspaper or magazine at breakfast. When you go to the doctor's office, pick up a magazine. Take a book with you to the beach so the child sees you reading. And if children see their parents are reading, often they will value reading as a fun and important part of their day too. So always have plenty of reading material around. Newspapers, books, magazines. My son used to love just reading the cereal box.
Oh, I read the cereal box every morning, yes.
Right. It's okay. It keeps you reading. Keep some, coffee table books. You can leave some bathroom materials, reading materials in the bathroom, books at your nightstand. Those are are all just ways to have reading materials around.
Now, what about moms and dads that read aloud?
So reading aloud is such a great thing. First of all, it's a wonderful way to bond. I think it's great for the child, and it's also great for the parent. Parents read out loud. They use inflection, make it fun, improvise, asking questions to improve comprehension. What do you think's going to happen next?
Yes.
To get them thinking before turning the page.
That's great.
There's something called paired reading. It's that you read a page and then the child reads some, and then maybe it's a page, maybe the child just reads a few words. But that what they call paired reading really has been shown to improve a child's reading fluency. They become faster and faster at reading when they're reading along with their parent. A fun thing that I always loved is going to hear a local storyteller. You go to the library or a bookstore. During vacation, sightseeing, you go on especially like a history place. A good storyteller can help to make that history come alive at a museum, or a tourist spot.
Oh, you're right. And I love that, getting to visit someplace. And then you have someone there that tells you the story.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
like the Alamo. That was a great trip. Hey, do you have any other tips to help moms and dads encourage their kids to read?
Sure. A couple of others. Children learn best when they use all their senses. See it, touch it, hear it, feel it, make it fun. So during the summer, do a lot of games, play board games, not video games, board games, card games, dice games. Dominoes can help kids to learn math. And it encourages also cooperative play. When you go to the beach, again, bring some games to play. You can, and that's better than playing the video games all the time. Kids use sidewalk chalk. Let's get outside and write with sidewalk, and we'll teach letters and numbers that way. Another good thing to do for a little bit older a child is to keep a summer journal. And that way kids are just kind of practicing writing over the summer. They can write what they did during the day. They can write down their thoughts. They could create a story. You buy an interesting journal. I'm going to get you a journal with a princess on it or wizards on it. And you just kind of keep it fun. You're not correcting it. You're not making it a lesson. The goal is really just to encourage some practicing of written expression. The other thing, again, road trip games. So I'm not sure if you remember these things when you were a kid, but, going on the road and doing I Spy, I see something
yes.
with the letter A or the color yellow, and it just helps them to learn as
we
they
played
go along.
license plate bingo.
License plate bingo,
We
yes.
played license plate bingo, and we traveled all the time.
Right.
Yes.
It's a good way to learn your letters.
Some of my best memories.
Right.
It
They're
truly
fun.
is, yes.
Exactly. They're fun. Listening to audiobooks on the road. So, you have a long trip, just put a nice story, an audiobook on. Let kids look at maps, help you figure out where you're going. A lot of kids don't know geography anymore. So let them actually look at a map and look at the map of the East Coast or West Coast or wherever they're going, so they learn a little bit about geography.
Okay.
The other things just to be aware of is there's a couple of programs called Get Georgia Reading, and there's something called Georgia Public Broadcasting, or PBS, and they are great places for children for activities over the summer. So
good. Yeah.
They have online summer learning series, educational workshops. They're called Summer of Possibilities, and they basically have summer content and resources that will keep kids learning and encourage them with their favorite PBS Kids characters, Daniel Tiger, all the characters from on PBS, and they make things come alive, and they build stories on character building, etc. And then they have worksheets that you can do, like just our digital learning activities. Let's go outside and let's do this. So those are great ones. And they actually have Georgia Home Classroom. So that's in partnership with the Georgia Department of Education, where they have instructional TV broadcasts, basically, that are aligned to Georgia's state standards. And again, a library of digital learning resources. They have what's called Getting Ready Guides. And that's basically a guide to help parents of young children to keep learning over the summer and to make sure they have the skills necessary for the year.
Those are some great ideas. Thank you so much. Before you go, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about Anna Shaw Children's Institute.
Sure. Anna Shaw Children's Institute is dedicated to the memory of Anna Sue Shaw, and it's a regional leader for care of children ages birth to 11 years of age who experience the challenges of developmental delays. There are therapies for children, which include physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and feeding therapy. There's also psychological services, which includes counseling. That could be individual counseling, family counseling, and behavioral support services such as ABA. They do cognitive and psychological and developmental evaluations to ensure the assessment of each child's individual skill set and therefore be able to identify the therapy services needed to advance that child's development. They have a treatment navigator, which is a dedicated institute employee who supports families through that whole process, through the diagnostic and then treatment process.
That is very extensive. It's wonderful to have that in our community.
It is. It's a great service, and it's a fun place to work.
For more information about Anna Shaw Children's Institute, call 706-226-8900 or visit hamiltonhealth.com/children. For an appointment at the Institute, please ask your child's pediatrician for a referral. This program in no way seeks to diagnose or treat illness or to replace professional medical care. Please see your healthcare provider if you have a health problem. Thank you for listening to Health for Life, a presentation of Hamilton Healthcare System.